There's 10 of us here. Right? And maybe people will join later, but for those of you who are here, you can use this time to ask your doubts before others join in. Yes, guys? No doubts? Did you also have the mock test? Okay. Some question.
Ma'am, model auxiliaries will come under which section, ma'am? Which I told pasted in the chat box.
This mock test we were not aware, ma'am, and statistics class was there.
About what? Did you not get an email or message about this?
No, it clashed with the statistics class, and we were missed it.
Oh, that is something that you should have conveyed to admin team, right?
Okay, never mind, ma'am. But anyway, that is open still. But for the extra assignment marks.
Yeah, issues like this, the moment you detect it, write to the supporting or the admin right away, because it's usually slotted and scheduled by them. We not do anything with this schedule.
Can you hear me, Leda?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you.
What happened?
So somebody was talking about they being not aware of the mock test. There was apparently a clash with some other.
No, sir. Actually, what happened was there was a mock scheduled on Sunday. Maths, stats, and English. Everything was simultaneous. Simultaneous means what? It was sequence only. But statistics, Usha madam also started the course at the same time, so we missed it. But the mock paper is available still. But only thing, the extra graded assignment won't be considered.
I don't get it quite. But you were saying that somebody started some activity which was not scheduled before.
The schedule got postponed. The statistics schedule got postponed, and it clashed with the English graded means the English mock assignment timings.
Okay.
And actually, what happened was that time Professor Usha madam took the class, so almost everybody were busy in her lecture, and we missed the timing, the timed mock test.
Okay, but mock test is something which is scheduled and you can take it at any time, right?
Yeah, but there is one option is there which says that you can use it as a catch-up assignment.
Okay.
But still okay, sir. But we still the mock paper is available and we can still work it out.
Right. So then it will work out.
But the time also one day. They given 1 day, right? We can adjust.
Yeah. Time is, if the whole day is given, then you can take it at any time.
Yeah.
True. So and as Lida informed you guys, if there is any class of this sort, what happens is that's the concern of the scheduling team, and we as part of the we as part of the English content, we don't have much control over scheduling. So if there is a team which keeps looking at all these things all the time, so for any conflict of such type, immediately inform them and probably they'll do something. That's the best we can tell you at this stage. And I understand that things must happen the way they are scheduled, and then it will work better for you. Because after all, everything is part of the same program. Given the online nature of this, lot of different people work on these things from different parts of the country. Anyway, so as long as it doesn't make much of a difference and that you are talking about it, let's move ahead with the questions and concerns about English, if you have any, and let us hear about. So we understand that you had a mock test, and do you also have a test, or is it going to happen next week? When is the test for this batch?
13th of March, sir.
13th of March. So that is Sunday, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So you guys are preparing for that, working for that. So let me know if there is anything that we can help you with. I see a lot of familiar people. Sumaya, Sahid, Saurabh, Ravikant, Pallavi, Nimesh, Krishna, Kirtana, and Mohan.
Sir, I
Go ahead.
pasted my note in chat box.
Can you read it?
Yeah, sir. See, modal auxiliaries are come under which, sir? Factual elements or non-factual emphasizes factuality.
So where did you get this question?
In our
This is
activity only, sir.
activity question. So Aishwarya, can you?
Yes, sir.
Could you please look at the what's the answer for this question?
Yeah, yes, sir. It will come under non-factual elements.
Non-factual.
But can you explain, sir, why it will come? Means why it is not factual, why it is non-factual, and what is
It
emphasizes
can.
factuality?
Yeah. You see, it's considered non-factual because when we say something like, let's say, I could speak, okay, or I can speak, or I must speak. All those things are indicating different possibilities. So they are not factual elements. They don't indicate in general. They don't indicate factual element. This is why they are called non-factual elements.
Oh, okay, sir. Then what is
Got it?
emphasizes factuality? Yes, yes, I
Is there
got it. But
anything? Is there anything else that can be added to this data?
No, sir, I don't think so. It's based when they say factual elements. I think factual would mostly refer to. Um, I think it should be something between habitual and like we talk about.
Right. No. That I understand. See, factuals will be finite sentences, tensed sentences like
Yeah, right.
I am speaking, I will be speaking tomorrow. These are the factual elements.
Yeah.
And Visist emphasizes factuality as this is not the case. So what happens in this case is there is a different. So basically, there is no emphasis added in the case of and model auxiliary. That is why these options are given.
Oh,
Get it?
okay, sir. Yeah.
So the
Thanks.
only correct option is it is not factual element to great extent because they talk about different levels of abilities and capability.
Okay. Sir, your voice was jogging, sir.
Okay, let me try fix it. Is it better?
Better
Is
now.
it better?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, I will still try fixing it. You guys go ahead, ask your questions. I'll fix it.
Okay. Others, those of you who have doubts, we can talk about it now.
Am I audible better? Is this better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Go ahead, guys. If there is anything that we can help you with. Don't want to add more new things for you. But if there are any type question that you would want us to answer, we will be happy to do that. No? We're just waiting. If you let us know if you have questions, like I said, to add new things, but
Ashish, you can ask your question. I just see the sentence here.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this is I'm writing this sentence from one of the video lecture of passives. It is so in this as per the lecture it says ki noun phrase 1 will come as a subject and then noun phrase 2 comes. So it will be like Deepa will come as a subject in this sentence.
which sentence?
Sir,
But the sentence is Ravi gave Deepa a book.
Ravi gave Deepa a book, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, Ravi is the subject because Ravi is the first noun phrase. But did you get it? So what happens is
if different noun phrases have different status. If we are talking about noun phrases within the predicate, then they are all mostly objects. Noun phrase outside the predicate can only be the subject. Get it? Do you understand the distinction between predicate and something outside the predicate?
So can you explain more on this?
Yeah, sure. Who was asking this question?
Sir,
Can you?
Ashish.
Sir.
Ashish. Okay. So see, take the same sentence as you have used. Ravi gave Deepa a book. In all sentences, there are two parts. One part is subject, the other part is predicate.
Right.
And subject is in general, mostly, whenever we are talking about stative verbs, in general, they are agents. That is agent of the action. That's one of the semantic definitions of subject. So what happens is, and this is also one way to isolate it aside. And other than that, everything else is part of the predicate.
Yes, sir.
So that noun phrase, and in general, that is a noun phrase. It's not essential for a subject to be only noun phrase. A subject can also be a full sentence and so. But, and I don't want to complicate your understanding of subject of the sentence. I'm trying to say two things about the subject. Sorry, there are two things in a sentence. One is the subject, the other is predicate. And subject is also one of the noun phrases. But when we talk about noun phrases, and we are mostly talking about noun phrases within the predicate, and then they are objects. Like Deepa is also a noun phrase, which is an indirect object, and a book is another noun phrase, which is the direct object of the verb give. If this is also not making sense, Ashish, you can tell me. Try
Yes, I'm making
better.
sense.
Making sense. Okay, good. So that's how we understand sentences. And that is how actually I want you to understand sentence for the purpose of its computation in our mind. The way our mind perceives a sentence, it perceives in two parts. One as the subject, the other is the predicate. And there is given this language English, there is another activity that happens between the two, which is called agreement. Only then a sentence becomes complete. So if your subject is singular, there will be some marker of singularity in the predicate as well. And when I say predicate, I mean verb as the central part of the predicate. And then it becomes a complete sentence. So subject has one specific status in a sentence, and object has a specific status, and what connects the two are elements like tense, agreement, and tense are present, past, future, etc. Agreement has its own components like simplistic understanding of how sentence functions in English. I'm sure you have looked at some of these things earlier. Go ahead, guys. Anybody else?
Sir, in the same question, what theme will be called, sir?
Like I said, agent is a semantic definition of subject. Semantically speaking, all subjects could be agents. Similarly, theme will always be something that is non-living. Non-living thing can be referred to as theme. So if you want to make a distinction between the same sentence, gave Deepa a book, Deepa will be patient, Deepa will be recipient, and book
Yes, sir.
will be theme.
Theme. Yeah.
Book
Yes.
will be theme.
Okay.
Not the other way around. Because you can
Yeah.
understand, for recipient, one has to be a living entity, or at least at the receiving end. And theme can only be referring to thing that can be received or that has non-living stature.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So the other part of understanding of this thing is agent, patient, themes, and many more. They are semantic roles assigned to noun phrases in a sentence. They refer to semantic roles of noun phrases in a sentence. And if you go further into the details of these things, you will get to know that every noun phrase in a sentence must have one semantic role assigned to them. So if you have a noun phrase in a sentence, that must be either an agent or a patient or a theme or goal or recipient, something like that. And this is an important part of understanding, but not necessarily for the purpose of communication. But if you want to understand the intricate details of a sentence, these are the things one has to understand. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Great.
So further to this statement, I want to add more things like if we want to convert this active into passive voice.
Mhm.
So I'm quoting from the lecture. Since Deepa is the first noun that follows the verb, a book is the second noun. Now the first noun is the indirect object and second noun is the direct object.
Right.
Right.
That's
So,
fine. Because the order of things in English is verb, IO, and DO. That
right.
is in subject and direct object. Okay.
So they named Deepa as NP1 and book as NP2, just
Okay.
for making the how it will convert. So NP1 will become the subject.
Okay.
And then it will convert to passive. So it will be the so Deepa was given a book by Ravi.
That is fine. So what is the question that you are asking?
The question is there is one more sentence which I feel it looks like the same, but it is not following that pattern. The answer is right. I know it will go like this. By why it is not following that pattern which I told just now.
What is the sentence which is not following that pattern?
Sarah bought a candy.
Okay. So what's the passive of this?
Sorry, sir. I am writing Sarah bought John a candy.
Okay.
Sorry. And the passive is a candy was bought to John by Sarah.
Right. See, what happens is there are two things that you are asking, NP1 and NP2. Okay. NP1 and NP2 distinction that you are making is about active sentence, right?
Right, sir.
So that refers only to identifying direct object and indirect object. Okay. When it comes to passivization is a completely different activity. And it is not contingent upon NP1 and NP2. I'm not sure what specifically is mentioned in that video and which video you are referring to, but I can tell you it can't be very different from what I am telling you now. The NP2 and NP1 and NP2, you understand that we are talking about, whenever we talk about NP2 and NP1 as object, we are talking about ditransitive verbs. That is,
yes,
verbs which have two objects.
Two objects.
And any one of the noun phrases from the any other than indirect object, other than intransitive verbs, all types of transitive verbs can be passivized. So when we make a passive of a sentence, the purpose of passivization is to suppress agency. That is, look at the active sentence. Active sentence is Ravi bought Deepa, let's say, candy. So when we make a passive sentence, what we are doing, the first thing in the passive sentence is the agency of Ravi is not highlighted. So we can say a candy was bought. Okay. By Ravi, you can add to the end of it. And when we say agency is suppressed, we mean agency is removed from the focus position of the sentence, which is the initial position. And this is allow me to add another specific purpose of passivization here. This is one of the major reasons why people use passives in their language. Just notice and underline passive sentences. Every time somebody is using the passive sentence, the main function is to remove agency or to suppress agency. Either way, it means we don't want to talk about agent. We don't want to give importance to agents. So that's the function of passivization. But as far as passivization as a whole process is concerned, any one of the two objects can become in the focus position. So to bring it to the simplest answer to your question, NP1 and NP2 can both be passivized.
Okay, sir.
Get it?
Right.
Yeah. But when NP1 and NP2 both are passivized, remember, they don't become agents. NP1 does not become agent. It still remains the same thing as theme or recipient. But when we say Sarah was bought a candy, Sarah is not an agent. When we say candy was bought for Sarah, candy doesn't become an agent. This candy was bought for Sarah by Ravi. Ravi still is an agent, but its focus is shifted completely towards the end.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me, Ashish?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm understanding, sir. And
this is why mostly you will see in television journalism or print journalism, passive is a very favorite structure of journalists, where they say it was said,
right,
it was reported, where they don't want to take the responsibility or reveal who reported, who did, who said. This is the massive difference between active and passive sentence. And therefore, in academic discussions, academic conversations, and factual conversations, active sentences are given priority. Active sentences are preferred sentences. And in journalistic language, where you don't need to owe the responsibility of many things, we use passive sentences.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
Sir, in the chat box, I pasted two statements, sir. One
Okay.
is A, subject is the independent part of the sentence,
Okay.
and object is the dependent part of a sentence. Can you tell
Right.
me how subject will be independent of a sentence, or of any example of that?
Yeah. So see, when we say independent, it means dependent on what or independent of what, right? It means,
Yes, sir.
so when we say subject is dependent, sorry, so object is dependent, it means object is dependent on the verb.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
have it, if you, for the very existence of an object, you need a transitive verb. If you
Yeah.
have an intransitive verb, you have no object. So object is dependent on the nature of the verb. That
Okay,
is,
sir.
you zero object
Hmm.
with intransitive verbs. You can have one object with transitive verbs, and transitive verbs have two types. We have another transitive verb type, which is ditransitive. Very few of them, but they do exist. For that, we have two objects.
Mhm.
There is no such condition required for subjects. All sentences will require a subject. And this is why it is called independent part of the sentence. Meaning it is not contingent upon anything.
Okay. Okay, sir.
It is a required thing. Without a subject, we cannot make a sentence. And
Yeah,
let me
that's
add
what.
here.
Yeah.
Let me add here. We talk about,
Yeah.
and we have explained these things to you enough by this time, that when we have an imperative sentence, we know what is the subject of an imperative sentence, right? And
Yes.
so what happens is, we can drop a subject. We cannot overtly articulate a subject, but the existence of the subject is always is not questionable. Get it?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Very good question. Is there anything else lit up from our forum or any one of your sessions that we need to discuss?
Sir.
No?
No.
Okay. Great. I still see there are a lot of people, roughly 35 plus people. There is no question from other people. And some of the people are always very quiet. I mean, I'm not making everyone speak, but just putting my observation out to you. Go ahead, guys. Still waiting.
Sir,
Yes, right.
Sir Ashish. Sir, I need
Sir.
a little more understanding on question tags,
Okay.
especially where these words are coming, like everyone, someone, and how to change those. That means, with what I got the understanding that when we move to question tags, it becomes plural. These words.
Yep. Let's make a sentence and let's see.
Sir, it is. Yeah, I posted on the chat. The sentence is everyone has come late today.
Okay, everyone has come late today. Leda, can you look at this sentence? Everyone came late. Everyone has come late. It's a grammatical sentence, but usually when people speak, we don't use this sentence. It doesn't sound good sentence. It will be said everyone came late. Everyone has come late today. So his question is, what will be the tag here, right?
Yes, sir.
Can it be haven't they?
Yes, sir. What I found on Google, it was haven't they. So that was I need more understanding. Then has become the have, and everyone can be converted. So means every tag will convert to plural in here.
See, what you see, everyone has come, everyone. No, okay. I mean, I don't understand that. I have not looked at that sentence. I'll need some time. But I am thinking what's going on in my mind is, if that is true, then why will that be true? Why will that be grammatical? Okay.
Right.
So I like I said, I will need to look at this structure and then I can tell you more about
Right,
it.
sir. Right, sir.
But from top of my mind, what I can say is, see, when we are talking about a sentence, simple sentence without a tag, okay,
Right.
then when we mention everyone as an entity, we are talking about an individual out of many. Okay. So the agreement becomes plural, right? Everyone is on my mind. Each of the students, each one of the students has submitted their assignments. Get it? Understand that?
Right, sir.
So the conceptualization goes as singular. But when I say everyone has come late, okay, so I am referring to multiple people coming late. So as part of the tag, at the end of the day, when I am confirming about everybody, that will sound like plural in totality, haven't they? So when I you see what does a question tag? What's the function of a question tag? You are only confirming it, right? It's a rhetorical device. So when I am watching everyone coming late, I am certain that all have come late. So everyone gets treated as all when it comes to question. But I'm only giving you sort of explanation to why it can function that way.
Right.
To say more conclusively about this, I will need to check this part, because I have not mentioned anything like that in the videos, but I need to look at it. Okay, Ashish?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Leda, can you please look at this thing after the
Sure,
session,
sir.
and post something in the forum so that it
Yeah.
goes as a confirmation.
Sure, sir.
Sure. Good question, Ashish. I haven't looked at it yet.
Anything else, guys?
Sir, I posted one more sentence.
Okay.
Basically, just to find out the adjective.
Okay.
So if a question asks if what is the adjective in this sentence, so it will be only expensive or like music modifying system and expensive modifying music. So we have to explore that way too.
No, in this sentence, expensive is an adjective.
It's an adjective.
And music system is the noun.
Okay.
And even without the adjective, music system is a noun. In that,
right,
music is not the adjective to the system.
So if a sentence is he's having a music system, so there is no adjective in that sentence.
There is no adjective in that.
Right.
It's having a music system. Music system, at the best we can say it's a compound noun.
Compound noun, right.
It's like blackboard.
Right.
Yes. So only one or two people have questions. Other people are still quiet.
Sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, can you explain again? It is from your lecture, that clause one.
Which one?
That clause.
Ah.
Sir, there you mentioned regarding direct object and indirect object, and when it is a two statement, so we precede direct object first and then indirect object.
Right.
And then again, if it used with a preposition, then again, sir, I want a little explanation. Means, can you brief a little bit again on that?
Sure. See, when you have we were just talking about two objects, right?
Right, sir.
Indirect and direct.
Right, sir.
In the context of ditransitive verbs.
Yes.
So
Sir.
in English, you have two options. One is where you can have Ravi bought Sarah a chocolate.
Right.
So we can say Sarah as an indirect object is preceding that. But when we take it as a prepositional clause, prepositional phrase, then the order gets reversed. Ravi bought a chocolate to Sarah or for Sarah. Okay. So we can say Ravi bought for Sarah a chocolate. Get it? So whenever you have prepositional phrase, then you have only one order of the two. Only one option available out of the two.
Right.
Is that clear to you? So the moment it becomes a phrase, I mean, it is a phrase anyway, but the moment it becomes a prepositional phrase, you have only one option. We say Ravi bought a chocolate for Sarah. Then direct object precedes and indirect object comes later.
Right, sir. Right.
Now, what happens is, and this is what is related to that clause also. So that clause means that clause can also be treated as an object, right? Is an object.
The full that clause.
Full that clause is an object.
Okay.
But what happens is this, apart from being an object, apart from being a clause, it's an object. And the natural
thing for a sentence is to put heavier entity towards the end. Okay, so if you have two phrases, two objects, the lighter one will precede, the heavier one will follow.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you understand the meaning of heavy and light. Heavy and
Yes,
light
sir.
is just one word, and when you have a full phrase or a full clause, okay, the heavier
Right.
one will follow.
Right.
That's how our mind organizes components of a sentence. And therefore, we have only one option left the moment it becomes heavy. It's called clefting also. It happens in all the languages, but I don't want to deflect your attention from what you are preparing for.
Right.
Okay. Very nice. Last week I had something pressing at the same time when your session was underway. Could not meet with you guys, but I'm not sure about the next week as of now, but we'll definitely meet with you next week as well. And my effort is to meet with you, your batch, whoever is willing to come to the sessions at least once a week. Despite looking at all other things, the details for all of you, we do want to meet with you online once a week. And I also want to put it on record that we have several other sessions going on. So if there is anybody, one of the challenges that we have in a course like this is the range of people, that is the range of competence available among people. So we have several people who can have doubts about different parts of the different structural patterns of the sentences, but they can speak and they understand the language pretty well. All are welcome, but in particular, if there is anybody who needs some more practice, attention, or any type of help any type of help that you think, we have several things going on. We have several sessions going on. But if you feel that there is something that we don't have and something that will help you do send us a suggestion on that, and we will definitely take that into account, and we'll try to, not just as a theoretical possibility, but we will try to address that immediately. Okay, guys?
Yes, sir.
So do let us know, guys. And like I said, I mean, we always look forward to your suggestions and comments. I'm not saying it just for the sake of saying it, because it really works for us. We have reached thus far, and we aim at improving any part of this course for next batches to come and present them in an improved version in a better way. That's been our goal. So it's as part of our effort, it's not a complete project. It's project underway, and we will keep working on improving it. But you have a very important role to play in helping us improve this for further batches. So please continue doing that. And whether we I can speak for people who have come before you. Now we are trying to, if you raise something, we will try to improve that immediately. We're not sure if we have done that for other batches, but we have tried to implement that for subsequent batches for sure. Anyway, so that's just a general reminder, general thing for you. So if we are done with that, can we conclude it for today? These were very good questions. I hope others also got a chance to hear about it.
Sir, I posted one more question, and I posted on the forum also, but
Sure.
Need your guidance in that.
Please tell me what's the confusion here. First sentence, lecture 5.6. If Kishore, what is the sentence? If Kishore would,
If Kishore worked hard,
he would pass the exam. You see, the reason why would is a better solution in this situation is because you see, there is a even if it is hairline distinction, there is a distinction between two types of possibility of would and could. So since it is a possibility of a different type in the sense that it still remains hypothetical in nature, so would will be a better option here in this sentence. He would pass the exam. Am I right, Vida? Can you see that? He would.
Yes, sir.
So we can't say if Kishore worked hard, he could pass the exam. However, if you change the order of the sentence, we can say Kishore could pass the exam if he works harder. Or Kishore can pass the exam if he works harder. Get it, Ashish?
yes, sir.
Same way, the second sentence is from what? Okay, that is, if you don't study, then you. What is that? The answer is if you don't study, then you could fail the exam. So yeah, so it's about different levels of possibility. Would so see what's happening here, what we are trying to do. We're taking these model verbs, model auxiliaries, and trying to go to the level of hairline distinction between these things. So both can be taken as capability or possibility, but in the second one, could is definitely a better option because it is. See, look at the precondition. If you don't study, meaning not studying is certain, then failing is also a greater possibility, right?
Right.
Therefore, could will work here because would has little bit of what you said previously. Hypothetical is, I would say, that is open. It's more certain.
Okay.
So and you know, it's almost when we were working on these things, and we still work on these things, we don't find as you know, everything is available about English language and grammar and instruction online, but we don't find materials which can give substantial information about these things.
Yes.
Not even native speakers' intuitions are explained properly to why one takes precedence over the other. So we are only telling you our understanding about these things.
Right.
Basically, so that will be my response to these things.
So first one, we should use would.
Second one, could.
Second, first.
First one will be would. For sure.
Would, which will be hypothetical.
But if you and you, like I said, I'm more than answering. I'm also giving you alternatives. If
Yes,
you
sir.
reverse the order of things
conditions
Yes,
in the first one, then you can use the word could.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sorry to raise this topic at now. Once you told that one about something, sir, why we are not able to learn English language more easily than our mother language. Did you tell the answer, sir?
I'm not sure if I have gone into the details of that, but one of the reasons is learning of a language as a child. That is, as in, so when do we learn our native language? We start learning our native language as a child. As a
Yes, sir.
child,
By
our capability to the existing okay, I'm struggling because I don't want to use technical terms. So our capacity to evolve subconscious computation of these rules is greater, and our capacity to exploit the same computation as an adult becomes weaker. Therefore, we have easier learning languages as a child, and we have difficulty learning language as an adult. So any language that we learn as a child, when I say child, I mean 0 to 10 years of age. 0 to 10 years of age. And when we are talking about adults, we are talking about 15 plus. So any language that we learn after 15 becomes a second language. It's not the same as our previous language. And whatever we have learned before before 10 years of age can be said as our native language, our first language.
okay, sir.
That is why it is difficult to learn at a later stage. And you can
Yes,
test these things. The language that you speak as your native language, the language that you grew up with, you are very comfortable in that language, even though you have not spent time learning those things systematically. And the language that you have not learned, that you started learning later, you still need to work on it to make sense out of many things. That's the distinction.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
understood.
And I brought this thing to your notice because my idea was when you move forward further and see, learning, making English little better for yourself is one part of the goal. When you deal with larger data, which comes from language, and you need to identify things which machines cannot. This understanding helps you do that. Maybe I am not making these things obvious too much, but
No, sir.
when
Yeah,
you move
understood.
further, you several courses on programming and computer science will help you reach a point where you would feel you needed to know more about language. So these discussions are not directed only towards making your understanding of English language better, but to develop your awareness about language and its interaction with infinite machine that we know as human mind in general. That's why I brought in that discussion.
Yes, sir.
Sure. All right, guys. Then, so specifically to Ashish and Visist, do you guys have more questions? And anybody else? I mean, when I keep asking you these things, it's not that I have to run away.
But if you have questions, we can stay. Whenever I come or we come, we don't come to you in a rush. We want to listen to you. We want to respond to you peacefully. So we can wait.
No, sir.
Okay, guys, any more doubts that you want to get clarified?
No, ma'am.
No?
Ma'am,
Um,
this quiz focusing on 5 to 8 now.
yeah, this is focusing more on 5 to 8. No other questions? Right. So if there are no more questions, can we wrap up the session, guys?
Yes, ma'am. You can.
Right. Okay. Others, if you have got no questions, then maybe let's call it a day then. Okay. All right. Then we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.